Hi, this is Angela from Simple Ayurveda. I'm a yoga teacher and Ayurveda health counselor. I have my Master's of Science in Elementary Education, and I'm a mother of two. My children are 2 years old and 5 years old. And today I would like to chat about mindfulness and motherhood. So I have 3 easy tips to get started on this journey of mindfulness and motherhood. 1 is to start with yourself. 2 is to model it for your children. And 3 is to meet them where they're at. So the first step in practicing mindfulness yourself can start so simple with just pausing throughout your day and taking 3 to 5 breaths. And for me, this is a really powerful practice as a mother, an entrepreneur, and my husband is also an entrepreneur and has his own business. And our work-home life is just always interwoven with each other. He's getting calls, people are contacting me. And so by taking 3 deep breaths throughout my day, it's something that I can practice at any time. So let's do that now. Just close your eyes wherever you're sitting. Take an inhale through your nose. Exhale back out your nose. Again. One more time. And then as you blink your eyes open, notice if there is a shift in energy or a shift in the way you feel, and how something that takes about 1 minute can totally change what happens for the next hour or two. And so for me, infusing that simple technique throughout my day has made such a difference. For example, just this morning, my daughter, who's 2, got into my bathroom and smeared bronzer all over her face, her clothes, the vanity, and I looked at her and I just took a deep breath, and I had to laugh because that's what toddler life is. And you know, those are the pictures I have of myself with SpaghettiOs on my forehead when I was a toddler. And I took her picture, we cleaned it up, and I was able to let it go. And that's really because of my breath, because inside I was a little angry over the cost of that bronzer. Another tool that I use for motherhood is a mantra. And a mantra can be just words that you repeat in your head without talking out loud. So they can really be practiced anywhere. And that's another reason I like it, especially as a busy mom, is that it's something I can just repeat whenever I need it. One of my favorites is all is well. And for me, when there's a little bit of childhood messiness and chaos happening or work commitments, just closing my eyes, and you can do this with your eyes open too, and repeating the mantra all is well reminds me that what I'm doing is important, but yet it's not. You know, I'm just one human being on this earth, and Mother Earth is here to support us. And this mantra of all is well, for me, cultivates trust and a little bit of release of control and a little bit of surrender. And that is why I love it so much. My other favorite simple mantra to practice is just thinking the words I am and whatever I need in the moment. And what I love about this is it gives you the power to choose what you need in the moment. So in times of feeling stress or anxiety, for me, what works is I am easeful. For times of irritation, I am grateful. And you can just repeat it over and over again in your mind for whatever duration of time. You know, 1 to 5 minutes is great to infuse throughout the day, or even when we're standing in line somewhere that we don't want to be for an errand or something like that, or when I'm online trying to remember my password for some program that I don't remember it for. I can just take a deep breath and think that mantra in my head. Also, practicing ourselves is creating boundaries around technology. For me, that looks like I moved my cell phone and my computer out of my bedroom, and I bought an old just a regular alarm clock for time so that I'm not tempted to look at technology when I first wake up. And we also have a no cell phone rule at the table. And therefore, when it comes to my kids, you know, I want to set the example of healthy boundaries around technology rather than just telling them that they need to have a boundary, but yet not having one myself. So the next part is modeling. You can model the breath by exaggerating it. So I do this with my kids all the time. When they're feeling upset, I'll take a big breath in. And then when I'm working with them, it's like, let's do that again, guys. And that way they can really see and hear and feel the sensations that come around that deep breathing. And my kids will now do this on their own, and they'll do it guided as well. Another way to model is to explain your thought process. So sometimes I'll practice yoga, and if they're playing, I'll say, I'm practicing yoga because I don't want my back to hurt, or this makes me feel calmer so that I don't get impatient with you and I don't yell at you as often. So it's explaining why I'm doing it, and I'm inviting them in, but not pressuring them that they need to join. And the last piece here of meet kids where they are is to understand that meditation and yoga and mindfulness looks so different for children than what it looks like for adults. And this is something that comes up a lot in this simple Ayurveda community through the audience that listens to the podcast and connects on social media, is that I've heard from some mothers, and I felt this myself too, that it can be aggravating when it feels like children aren't cooperating with the yoga or the meditation or whatever it is that you had in mind. And this is the process of letting them be the guide and practicing mindfulness, which is being right in the moment and not having an expectation of what life should look like. And this is where they are our teachers. So, for example, when it comes to meditation, what about a walking meditation? What about taking the kids to the woods or somewhere immersed in nature and turning off the cell phone or technology and just walking through nature and looking around at what you see, noticing the colors of the leaves? And if your kids are not used to this sort of thing, it's going to take more prompting on your part. I don't really usually take a plan with me, but once in a while I'll say, let's do a color scavenger hunt. So we'll look for different colors in leaves and flowers, and you can do this in any neighborhood around the block then if you just creating some mindfulness. And if you live in a city and you're taking a walk around the block, you can point out the smells, the sights, the sensations all around you, and it's great to do this in nature as much as possible. Another thing that takes some letting go is if you have a workout, exercise, yoga practice, what that looks like in incorporating your kids. So for me, I don't like the gym. So I like to go for walks. So that means I put my 2-year-old in the stroller, and then I have a little board that my 5-year-old can stand on. That way I can actually get a good cardio power walk and take them with me. I like to include them in my exercise as much as possible. So rather than taking them to childcare at the gym, I would prefer if we could do something together. We live close to the beach in New Jersey, and it's cold right now, but we still go. And how I get them to go with me is I say, let's go play Sea Monster. We'll go down to the beach, and they run from me, and I chase them screaming like, ah! And it's the greatest cardio, and it's a lot more fun than standing on a treadmill, watching a show, counting down the minutes. And we're playing together. They're getting exercise. I'm getting exercise. So that's just some of the small ways that we try to incorporate movement and mindfulness together. I do also teach kids yoga. I taught at a preschool, and I teach at a summer camp every summer. And my number one favorite tool for kids yoga is this Hoberman sphere. So this is just like a $12 ball. And what I do, I call it my breathing ball. And I will model it for the kids first, and then I'll pass it to them. And I do this with my own kids, and then I do it when I work in groups at preschool or summer camp. So basically all they'll do is just take a big breath in and a big breath out. But they love it. It's like magic because they can see the diaphragm getting bigger and the diaphragm getting smaller. And I pass this around. What I'll do with it in a group of kids is give them the breathing ball, have them say something, their favorite color. Older kids can say what they're grateful for, and they'll take a breath in, and everyone will breathe with that person holding the ball, and everyone will breathe out, and we'll pass it around. So in a situation with 10 kids, that's 10 big breaths. That's 3 or 4 minutes of breathing and meditation and passing, and it's unbelievable how silent and engaged they get when this thing comes out. So this is magic. This one, I use it for teaching, but then I just have it in their playroom that they can use whenever they want. So they like to just go and get it and breathe in and breathe out. And my hope is, that it's this tool that they could use when they're upset about something, that they can have their hands and sort of use it as like this to take them out of the mental space. It's a reset. And there's one more tool that I've had for the last 10 years of teaching kids yoga, and this is really it. These two things, the sphere and then these yoga cards. You don't have to get these exact ones. In fact, there are tons of freebies online that you could print if you have the time and you're a creative type person. For me, I'd rather spend the $12 and I've gotten my money's worth. These are just cards with poses. They're really great because it empowers kids to be able to be your teacher. They can choose a card, and on the back, it has step-by-step instructions, including pictures for those that can't read yet. So even my 2-year-old can pull this card out and tell me to lay down on the floor and do this. And it's a way that we practice yoga together. And then older kids can put together a sequence of different poses. And there's some partner poses, which these can be really fun if you do this with your kid. And if you don't want to get the cards, you could just Google partner yoga poses and play with that. And it's a really fun way to bond. And it's core work. You're getting a workout and you're setting the foundation of yoga as part of your life, and mindfulness is something that you can do anywhere and everywhere. So in conclusion, I believe that 3 easy steps to mindfulness and motherhood are: first, to practice yourself through breath, through mantra, through setting boundaries with technology. The second is to model it and explain what you're doing and why you're doing it. And then the third step is to meet kids where they are. Don't expect their mindfulness and their yoga and their meditation to look like an adult's, because it won't. Be open to what they have to offer and how they have to look at this whole thing. So again, I'm Angela from Simple Ayurveda, and I'm so happy to be here chatting with you today. Thank you. Namaste.